everyone. My name is Cheyn Crangle, and I'm a supervising coordinator with Market America, meaning I've earned between $7,500 to $10,000 in a 4-week pay period. And today what I'm going to be going through is how to make a telephone call to set either an appointment or invite somebody to a home business presentation at your home or somebody else's home. But really specifically, the 4 key steps to really include when making a phone call. I understand there's probably lots of ways to do this. All I'm going to be using though is something that I found to be very successful, duplicatable, and work extremely well throughout my team and really now for a lot of other people throughout our business. And really the call is the start of everything. So again, these are bullet points you want to make sure that you include when making this call. And I'm just going to get right into it. The example I'll be using, the name is Josh. Okay, so I'll be calling a guy named Josh and setting the appointment. So in here, you got to understand the whole point of the call is to set the appointment. And you'll notice that these 4 things, nowhere in there, include what I call the meat and potatoes. Okay, so there's 3 things in the meat and potatoes that you need in between here to input yourself. The first one being the time, date, and location. 1, 2, 3. Time, date, location have to be scheduled somewhere in here. Typically, you'll ask for those things between steps 2 and 3. Okay? So this is how it goes. First one, I only have a second. The reason I'm calling is. Now, the reason I say I only have a second is there's 4 ways you can go with this. You can call somebody and say, hey, do you got a minute? Now, if you call and say, hey, do you got a minute? Typically in their head, they're thinking, geez, this is going to be a 10 to 15 minute phone call. Or you can say, hey, I only got a minute. Same thing. They're probably thinking to themselves, man, another 10 to 15 minutes. You can call somebody and say, hey, do you got a second? Same thing. Really what you want to do is number 4, I only have a second. This lets them know, I got to be fast, you're going to be fast, this call is going to go fast, so it's not going to be dragged on forever. And the reason I'm calling is, typically when you call somebody, you're building rapport for the first minute. Now you're switching from rapport to the business call itself. So I only have a second. The reason I'm calling Josh is I own my own business, or I started my own business. Not sure if you knew that. Step 2, edify. So, hey Josh, I only have a second. The reason I'm calling is I own my own business. I'm not sure if you knew that, but I thought of you right away. You're well connected. I respect your business opinion. You're great at what you do. I've known you for a long time and value what you say. You're very successful in what you do. Something to edify the person. Think of 1 or 2 things that you can edify them in that relates to business. Now, typically, sometimes people might say, Cheyn, what if I can't find something to edify them in? I'm going to tell you, don't call that person. All right? If you can't think of 1 or 2 good things about a person to potentially do business with, they're probably not somebody that you want to partner with. And I think you'd agree with that. So think of 1 or 2 things, and then this is where you might add in the details of your business, the business meeting. So, hey Josh, I only have a second. The reason I'm calling is I started my own business. I'm not sure if you knew that or not, and I thought of you right away. I really respect your opinion, and I was hoping that we could get together next week and really sit down and evaluate what I'm doing. So again, I only have a second. The reason I'm calling is edify the person, put in the date, and number 3 is where you really have to focus on. This is the most important step in there to include. I personally feel the number 1 reason somebody will not evaluate a business for you if they're your friend is because they're afraid that you're going to they're going to say no, and that's going to hurt your feelings. So this part right here, you may or may not be interested. Either way is fine with me. Completely lowers that shield. They can come into the meeting open, knowing there's no pressure, and really can make it a comfortable atmosphere when you sit down to eventually show this business plan. So, hey Josh or Cheyn, listen, I only have a second. The reason I'm calling is I started my own business. I thought of you right away. You're well connected, and I really respect your opinion. I want to get together next Tuesday or Wednesday. Both days are pretty flexible for me. For about an hour, show you what I'm doing. You may or may not be interested. Either way is completely fine with me, but it would really mean a lot. Can you help me out? So again, that's the 4th step. Always ask your friends for help. And again, I don't feel salesy with this at all. I know and you know that we can change somebody's life with this business. All I simply want to do is get an hour to show them how they could, if they chose, build a business for themselves and change the situation that they're currently in. But it all starts with setting that appointment. Now I know typically people think the next question will be, sure, Cheyn, what is it? I just want you to know, Jim Winkler, the Vice President of Sales, and I recently did a meeting down in Miami with about 30 to 40 business partners. Over a 2-day period, we booked over 250 appointments with them. Of that, only 10 to 15 people, because we tracked it, only 10 to 15 people ever asked, what is it? Out of 250 appointments set, and only 7 people said no. So basically what that means is if you are willing to pick up the phone and make a call, you're going to set an appointment. And that also means the only person really stopping you from growing your business at this point is probably you yourself. So now that you know how to go through these steps, it's pretty simple. If they were to ask what is it, I like to keep it very simple. I own a product brokerage company. I own an internet marketing company. I own an internet marketing company that deals with online shopping, a huge trend. But here's where you want to add past that. Everything else is hard to explain on the phone, which is why I want to sit down with you face to face. I'm available next, again, Tuesday or Wednesday. So I'm answering the question, and then I'm moving back to the whole point of the call, which is the appointment, setting the appointment. So let's run through this again. I only have a second. The reason I'm calling is I just started my own business, Josh. I thought of you right away. I respect your business opinion. I want to get together next Tuesday. Anytime in the afternoon works well for me, and show you what I'm doing. You may or may not be interested. Either way is fine with me. But if I could get an hour, it would mean a lot. Can you help me out? And then he might say, sure, Cheyn. What is it? Well, we're a product brokerage internet marketing company. We really deal with online shopping, but everything else is kind of hard to explain on the phone. That's why I want to sit down with you face to face to really be able to answer those questions. Now again, did Tuesday work for you? And then you can set the appointment at the appropriate location. I'll tell you the best place to meet somebody is if it is at a coffee shop, so you got internet access and it's quiet, or if they're going to ask you to meet at their home, that's fine too. Just make sure it's a controlled environment. There are kids running around everywhere. There's not going to be a lot of distractions because you deserve their undivided attention and they deserve the best atmosphere to really learn about our business opportunity. So you can also go through this and invite somebody to a home business presentation. Simply put, the same way. Hey Josh, listen, I only have a second. Reason I'm calling is I started my own business. I thought of you right away. You're well connected and I respect your opinion. I'm having people over to my house next Wednesday at 7 p.m. and I wanted to reserve you a seat to come learn about what I'm doing. You may or may not be interested. Either way is completely fine with me, man, but it'd mean a lot. Seating is limited. Can you come and help me out and see what I'm doing? And then he may say, sure. Now, here is where you have to set the posture of the phone call and the meeting. It is not simply good enough just to read this, get a yes, and get off the phone. Because there really isn't a lot of substance to that call. And really the person then, it's very easy for them to text you or call you and cancel the appointment. So how I typically end then is, let's say I have a date and time set for next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Great, Josh. I got in here in my calendar, 7 p.m. At the Starbucks in Milwaukee. And listen, I respect your time. I know you respect my time. Do you see anything in your calendar right now that would prevent you from coming or having to cancel this appointment? No, Cheyn, I don't. Great. I'll call you the day before just to remind you on the location. I know you probably don't need it. I really appreciate you taking the time, and I'll see you next Wednesday. So there's nothing wrong with adding that little piece in there of, do you see anything in your schedule that would prevent you from coming or canceling? Because now they understand this is serious, you're really taking your time, and chances are likely that they're not going to call you, cancel, and show up to your appointment, which again is very important. Now, I also mentioned that I give them a call the day before. And here's typically where I hear people make the mistake. I call Josh the day before, and what people typically say is, hey Josh, just wanted to see if we're still good for tomorrow. That's not good. One, that gives them an out. Two, you sound unsure. I want them to come. So if I call Josh the day before, I'd say, hey Josh, it's Cheyn. Again, just reminding you about tomorrow, 7 p.m., Starbucks in Milwaukee. I'm really excited to see you. I got some good materials. We're only going to be an hour. Again, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you then. And I typically get off the phone right away because I want that appointment, and I want them to know I'm serious about this. So hopefully going through this makes some sense. Again, number one, I only have a second. The reason I'm calling is. Number two, edify the person. Number three, you may or may not be interested. Either way is fine with me. And number four, can you help me out? Okay? And again, the meat and potatoes, we're going to add in here. You got to make sure you figure out where you want to put them. time, date, and location of the appointment. The whole call, the only purpose is to set the appointment. Once you set the appointment, congratulate yourself, but go on to the next and really start taking advantage of these details now to help you build your business. Again, I hope this helps you out. Watch this video several times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, till you start to understand the language of this. And then the next thing you need to do is practice it a couple times just so you can get comfortable yourself with making the calls. And really, again, remember, the entire business starts with reaching out to that person. So the faster you learn this, but not only learn it, then take action on it, the faster your business will grow. Hope you guys have a great day. Hope you learned something, and I'll see you all very soon. Thank you.